While the two factions continue their business, a portion of the map begins to take on an autumn color as Halloween fast approaches. The loopers observe as the middle island begins to rumble as bubbles appear surrounding it. This leads into Fortnitemares 2019. The Storm King has been ordered to Reality Zero by a currently unknown faction. The 0 Point is using the storm for its own benefit, and he's here to take back what's rightfully theirs. The King has unleashed mist monster pods across Apollo to exterminate anyone in his way of total domination. Every cycle, 4 of the different mist monsters will always spawn. However, which pod they spawn from is always randomized. The Storm King throughout the match will try to eliminate any players who get too close to the Storm Isle. However, if you can avoid the King, you may find the Storm King's Wrath guaranteed in one of the chests on the island. The Wrath is a very powerful sniper rifle. Holding the shoot button will release a very powerful laser dealing over 100 damage to enemies and piercing through every building in its way. However, with its great power, it requires a hefty recharge per use. As a callback to last year, the island has raised above into the sky and will travel across the island. The 0 Point is fighting back and needs the loopers' help before the job is done. Aside from the giant storm monster takeover, the islanders celebrate Halloween by setting up the usual decor. A mini-maze is set up in Frenzy Farm full of ghosts and ghouls. Hayseed and Sunflower don't seem to mind, more bars in their pocket. Over at the eroded buildings of Pristine Point, the abandoned homes are given a new, spooky vibe with gargoyles, spiders, and cobwebs placed all around. Some say this place may be haunted. Finishes its tour around the island. The loopers prepare their final fight against the Storm King. His reign of terror has gone on far too long without anything being done about it. The King drags the storm to the center, preventing the loopers from escaping if things go wrong. It's time to fight. It's now or nothing. The Storm King is defeated. The island returns to its original position as it lowers back into the ground. The remnants of the corrupted areas from the mist monsters lay as mini craters. Halloween had ended. The storm is saved. The 0 Point can rest. All is at peace once again. But wait! While the Storm King was wreaking havoc on the island, what else was happening behind the scenes? Meet Bunker Jonesy. His past is complicated. However, over the Halloween period, he's been theorizing about something in his little home hidden in the mountain ranges. Some strange activity, anomalies occurred. Fake chests sometimes replaced real ones, and little mist monster creatures played peekaboo. The epic chests sprouted legs and started attacking innocent people. This wouldn't be so out of the ordinary, considering the fact that there was a massive monster threatening the island. However, upon close examination, Bunker Jonesy noticed that these anomalies appeared a lot more at one certain location. Steamy, Stacks? But why? He always knew something was off with that place. The dead grass, the purple liquid somehow used as a power source, the 𝗃volution branding. He felt like it reminded him of something from his past, but he couldn't quite put his finger on it. The power plant was always on full surveillance. There was no way he could get in there to find out. Who sent the Storm King? Why were the anomalies happening so much more often at Steamy Stacks? There must be something. He will find out. Catching back up with Ego, surprisingly throughout this whole invasion, they've done nothing about it. Why? The IO ordered them to lay low. They can't get themselves killed. They still have work to do. The loopers would eventually get the job done, they were sure of it. Shaddow, however, was a lot more active during this time. The two rivals, Midas and Chaos Agent, had their own mini-adventures. Midas knew a lot about how the loop worked. He was an ex-imagined order worker after all. Over the course of Halloween, knowing that the 0 Point controlled the storm, he started to construct theories on where the 0 Point actually was. This will be important for the future. Think about it. If the 0 Point controlled the storm and right now, the Storm King was seemingly also controlling the storm and just so happened to be in the center of the island. Maybe, just maybe, the 0 Point was being manipulated by the king. Maybe the 0 Point was under the middle lake. Just like Loot Lake from Athena. The two islands shared a lot of similarities after all. This was the best theory he had. So if the 0 Point was under there, when the time is right, he can act on his idea he's been brainstorming. What that idea is, we don't know. For now anyway. Chaos Agent was back in his little shack in the swamp. The same one that he was in to reanimate Big Chuggas from the dead. He took a slurp barrel and experimented with the slurp inside of it. Maybe he could find a way to manipulate the substance enough to create life without using a pre-existing life form. For all he knew, the only way to make life from slurp was using pre-existing hosts. After a lot of time, he did it. He created a new substance he called sludge. This would allow him to overthrow Midas. From within the bunker in the science laboratory, he created his first life form. It was red, just like the sludge. It looked angry, but also obedient. It treated Chaos Agent like a commander. It was perfect. As creative as he was, Chaos Agent decided to call it Sludge, which didn't really take much thought, but oh well. Anyway, with his newfound sludge, he stole a slurp vat from the factories and mixed the substance into it, creating more of it. If the sludge took over the slurp, maybe he could... Everyone was busy with the Storm King. Maybe he could just...